And welcome to the very first Friday what we're doing here tonight. I have no agenda. I have no schedule. I'm usually the guy that comes with a written out outline of exactly what I'm gonna say, and so I don't forget anything. That's not tonight. This is you and me sitting in my living room, just having a good time, seshing out. We're gonna be comfortable. We're not gonna be too uptight here. And here in a little bit, we're going to be smoking us some DMT. So that's what we got on tap. And we're going to go through a few things. I want to discuss a little bit about DMT, maybe show you a few videos, go over my website here, and then we'll just take it from there. I don't want to start smoking too early in the broadcast because it's a 2-hour stream, so I'm probably going to end up smoking in the second half of the stream because I'm only going to probably smoke for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'll have a little bit of time to discuss and come down and work through that with y'all and tell you what happened, and I'll tell you what's happening as it's happening as well as I can. And but so we'll take the first hour or so just to get to know each other and to I'll let kind of fill you in. Assume you've never heard me. I mean, if you've been to my website and watched my videos, you have heard me share how I'm here. But if this is your first time, I'll give you a quick rundown. Like I said, you can go to my home page there and see it anytime you want. But I was a super Christian guy, raised and born and raised in the church, and liked it actually. Contact God. It wasn't even a religion for me. I wanted to know Him. So just jump forward to about maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago. Heck, I don't even know anymore. And I was offered to take some LSD by someone very close to me, and so I said, okay, I will. I was a teetotaler, didn't smoke, drink, or cuss at the time, but I was just at the right place, and I was open, so I did, and something changed in me after that acid trip. I I instinctively knew that that this was going to be a spiritual path for me. I don't know how to explain it. No one had to tell me that. I just instantly knew that there was something spiritual about this. And then I would go for 6 months and then trip again. And I realized every time I would trip, I come out of it feeling revived and refreshed spiritually and like I had a new focus on life. So I began to trip a little more frequently. Well, now flash forward to just a couple years ago, we moved out here to Colorado to so I could grow weed legally because I wanted to do that properly. And a series of circumstances were just leading up to the prior couple weeks to this moment to where I was crying out to God, hide from me. What have I done? What have we done as people that you got to hide yourself from us? Show yourself, Daddy, you know? And at that moment, a voice cried out, take DMT. And, I'm like, did you just hear that? And he's like, no, I didn't hear nothing. And I was like, God just told me to take DMT. And I was blown away. So that put me on a path to study and research DMT, which I did. I began to dive into Terrence McKenna's, videos and stuff. I'm clipping a little bit. I'm gonna turn my mic down just a little bit so I don't clip. And I began to listen to hundreds and hundreds of hours of stuff on DMT and psychedelics and Graham Hancock and Alan Watts and Ram Dass and all these other people, that I could find the information. And in the meantime, because you just can't find DMT, there was no DMT to smoke. So I just had to trust and wait for it to come to me. Well, a few months later, Colorado passed Proposition 122, which decriminalized all plant based psychedelics, meaning mushrooms, ibogaine, mescaline, and DMT are now legal. Legal, some people say decriminalize, it's legal. I started to try to trip every month or every 2 weeks at times. And it was, they were beginning to communicate with me during those acid trips before the DMT. I, all kinds of stuff started to happen. I'd go into more detail in my other videos. I won't waste too much time on that. But the point is, so we finally get DMT and I finally smoke it. Well, that is 2 years ago, Thanksgiving. This coming Thanksgiving will be 2 years. I smoked it for the first time on Thanksgiving with the same family member that was with me when God cried out to me. And these past 2 years have just been incredible. This has been my journey. So here I sit with you tonight, just sharing how great this is. And welcome. I see Stargazer is here. Welcome. I'm going to just type a welcome to you in case you can't hear me. And I'm gonna check. I'm not even sure how many people are watching. I got 4 watching. That's good. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here, whoever it is. I don't know, and it doesn't really matter. But if you want to let me know who you are in the comments, I can see them here. So DMT. Let's get to DMT. And so by God telling me to take DMT, and then by DMT being legalized, the only way for me to take it was to make it myself. So I began that process of learning how to extract it. I would buy the root bark from Brazil and then the other supplies, and I just began. And now I'm going to share my screen with you. This is my first time doing this, new software and everything. So I feel like I'm actually doing pretty good here, ain't I, guys, with this first time with all this technical stuff. So here's my website, as you know, takedmt.com, and as you can see here, all content is now free. I used to charge a subscription, but not many people were subscribing, and it's just I want to get this information out there. I'm not worried about money. God provides for me. So I just want everyone to know how they can make DMT legally for themselves. So, and I want to say this right off the bat. Let me come down here. You'll see right here on my website this legal info box. Let's click here. This is our legal disclaimer, and this is very important. Yes, this is legal. I'm only giving you information. I don't sell DMT here. Don't ask me to sell you DMT or how I can hook you up with it. I just can't do it. All I'm here to do is to teach you how to do it yourself and to smoke with you. So, this is just information at the end of the day. And, I'm going to offer it to you. And don't do this if it's illegal where you're at. You will go to jail and or prison, and most likely you're going to go to prison, and that'll be for years. Okay? Over the age of 21 for the right to grow, use, and share these elements. So if that isn't you, if you're not in Colorado or a state where this is legal, by all means, keep listening to me, but do not do this. Do not grow this DMT and make it and smoke it. You will go to jail and or prison. I don't want you to do that, okay? So if you're able to do it legally, let me go back over here. Sorry, I went off of my website for a minute. So we're going to go back to my home page now. So all content is now free on this site. So if you can do this legally, go for it. Of course, if you're watching a session on my website, you'll just click this, and this will take you to the live stream, which is right here, as you'll see. So I'm going to go back out of that. Let me check my message. I may be getting some feedback. Somebody says they're watching, but they're getting some lagging. Is anybody else experiencing any lagging on their end? Could you leave a comment? Doesn't seem to be lagging. Well, there's a little bit right there. So I'm not sure what that's about. So anyways, maybe it'll quit lagging here. So your equipment and everything you're going to need is listed above each video. And I break it down into every step of the way, all the way through. And then I teach how to recrystallize it as well. And so that's all of my extraction videos there. And then I have some how-to videos. This will be expanding, and I'm going to redo my extraction videos one day soon, so to make them a little better. But in the meantime, it is what it is. Here we have making a vape cart. These are going to be these types of videos. How to make a vape cart. What if I don't have the tumbler? This is my divine medicine tumbler that I created to help roll the jars. It's automatic. It automatically does this for you, so you don't have to do it by hand. It just saves time. It's expensive to make, but I teach you how to do it if you don't have a tumbler, but yet be able to do it in the same amount of time. How do you smoke DMT? I show you the devices I use, and I've actually got new devices now that I prefer over all of these. How to smoke from a bong, how to smoke from a vape cart, and I actually smoke in these. I don't really do too much. How to smoke from e-mesh, and here is the final how to smoke from the Hamilton device, which is my preferred method now. It's just so simple. So anyways, we have some resource link strength. And then so I put together a chart of hit strength, then it'll kind of show you how much hit strength or how many seconds hit you need to get to where you want to go. And these are dealing with your open eye sessions here. So if you just want your beginner, you're just quick, easy sesh, you just want a 4-second single hit. And the total hit strength on that is 50, right? See, so here, 4 seconds is 50. Now remember, you could do it in 2 2-second hits, right? But 2-second hits is only 23. And if you double 23, that is 46, a little less than 50. So it's actually stronger the longer you take the hit. So if you can do a 4-second hit, it's better than 2 2-second hits, and so on and so forth. So if you want to dive into this chart, it's technical, but for those type of people, it might be a good way to figure out how much you want to do. And then lastly, here I have my extraction planner. This is a PDF form. And here we go. I have a planner for hand rolling. This is like your old-fashioned way. 5 days, you would click on the PDF, and here you go. So this assumes you start Monday at 8 a.m. This is when you begin rolling or making your lye water. And then you just follow the instructions on the chart here, and it'll get you all the way through to Friday when you're finally done right here. So if you start Monday the old-fashioned way, you're going to finish off on Friday. So let me get out of that. So here's your planners. I got a 34-hour planner. This is for tumbler rolling. So using them to my site. It'll ever get me there. This is not the part I wanted to get to. The internet is running a little slow here tonight for some reason. Okay, so we're back to the beginning. So there we go. I've got some radio interviews here, the spiritual awakening and the physical awakening, and then here's my questions for basically for newbies or people who just want to know what DMT is and all that good stuff. So there you go. So I am going to go back to my camera here and stop sharing my screen. Okay, yes, lagging. We got some lagging. I'm going to have to figure out what that lagging is. Hopefully it's not going to be lagging on the rebroadcast. If it is lagging now and it's bothering you, come back and watch this later. I apologize. I'm going to do this real quick. I'll share my screen. And I'm going to just come right here and do a speed test, just to make sure everything's running good on my end. I mean, I get up to 1,000, but that's 300. That's lightning. I mean, look at everything is crazy right now. Let's see what my ping is. It is Friday night. My latency is only 3 milliseconds. So everything on that seems to be okay. Now, the 10-minute Terrence McKenna audio, I just want to go through with you so you can hear what is going on with, this stuff. So take a listen.
Hash smokers are greatly favored in this endeavor because you really need leather lungs for this. The great problem is that people will cough or not be able to hold it in. You take 2 hits in a situation where your clothes have been loosened and you can just flop backward when you need to. You take 2 hits. Now, many people miss the point, because after 2 hits, you feel completely peculiar. You feel as though your body is undergoing some strange kind of anesthesia. All the air has been pumped out of the room. This is the visual acuity thing I talked about last night. The colors jump up. The edges sharpen. And at that point, people say, whoa, wow, it's really coming on strong. And then what you have to do is you have to take one more enormous hit. And this separates the intrepid from the casual, believe me. Because most people, and the facilitator doesn't want to lean on the person. You say, damn it, take the third hit. And it's saying, no, I feel completely weird. Say, I know you feel weird, but take the third hit. Well, if you can coax somebody into that, then what happens is you close your eyes and you see the ordinary warm brown back, closed eyelid scenario. And then these colors begin racing to like thing. And there's a sound like a saran wrap bread wrapper being crumpled up and thrown away, that crackle. A friend of mine says, this is your radio intellecty leaving through the anterior fontanelle at the top of your head. I don't know what it is, but it's something is being... Yeah, right, that's what it is. And then there's this very defined sense of bursting through something, a membrane. And on the other side, and this is now, remember, my experience, on the other side, as you break through, there's a cheer. There's a whole bunch of entities waiting on the other side. And they, that Pink Floyd song, the gnomes have learned a new way to say hooray. Well, it's that place. It's those gnomes. And you burst into this space, and they're saying, how wonderful that you're here. You come so rarely. We're so delighted to see you. And one of the things about DMT that's really puzzling is, in a sense, it doesn't affect your mind. In other words, you don't change. For instance, if you take ketamine, the very first thing you notice before the trip hits is you notice that you no longer are anxious about having taken ketamine. You just sort of, anxiety leaves you. That means it's affecting your mind. It's doing something to the judgmental machinery. DMT doesn't lay a hand on the judgmental machinery. You break through into that space exactly who you were before. They're hammering at you, and they come forward. They're like jeweled, self-dribbling basketballs. And there are many of them, and they come pounding toward you, and they will stop in front of you and vibrate, but then they do a very disconcerting thing, which is they jump into your body. They jump into your body, and then they jump back out again. And the whole thing is going on in this very high-speed mode, where you're being presented with thousands of details per second, and you can't get a hold on, you say, my God, what's happening? And these things are saying, don't abandon yourself to amazement, which is exactly what you want to do. You just want to go nuts with how crazy this is. They say, don't do that. Don't do that. Pay attention. Pay attention to what we're doing. Well, what are they doing? Well, what they're doing is they're making objects with their voices. They're singing structures into existence. These things are, and what they will do is they'll come toward you, and then, and you have to understand, they don't have arms, so we're kind of downloading this into a lower dimension to even describe it. But what they do is they offer things to you. Say, look at this. Look at this. And as your attention goes toward these objects, you realize that what you're being shown is impossible. It's impossible. It's not simply intricate, beautiful, and hard to manufacture. It's impossible to make these things. The nearest analogy would be to the fact is directed toward, they're saying, do what we are doing. And they're very insistent. They say, do it, do it, do it. And you feel like a bubble. And now this is subjective. I mean, only 5% report this, but it happens to me. You feel like some kind of bubble inside your body that's beginning to move up toward your mouth. And when it comes out, it isn't sound, it's vision. You discover that you can pump stuff out of your mouth by singing, and they're urging you to do this. They say, that's it, keep doing it. And the whole thing is like, we're now at minute 4.5 with this stuff. And you speak in a kind of glossolalia. There's a spontaneous outpouring of syntax unaccompanied by what is normally called meaning. It's sort of, he ding wow wak saptivi muldektipi tinget wahaksiki pipinem wahavedektam bohagagetek. And this is accompanied by a modality, something seen. And they're saying, yes, do it. And then after a minute or so of this, the whole thing begins to collapse in on itself. And they literally begin to physically move away from you. And usually their final shot is they actually wave goodbye and they say, déjà vu, which makes no sense at all if you analyze it. So then you come down. And you're now at minute 6 to 7. And you come down, and it's like being more loaded than you've ever been. 4 minutes after that, some people can give no account of it whatsoever. They just say, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me, and I can't remember it now.
Ain't that the truth? That is a good description of DMT. However, it's not all that DMT is, because as I found out, as several of us others have found out, that that's like the very beginning stages of the DMT journey. It's a progression. Let me try to explain how this has progressed for me. Like, you know, we call the body load. When you smoke DMT, like Terrence says, this form of anesthesia comes over you. You feel, if it's your first time smoking and you take a hit, you're gonna feel it hard like this. An anesthesia hits you. You're just kind of like, you don't want to move. You can't even really move. You can, but you don't want to. You're just like in this paralyzed state. Not paralyzed, but that's the best word I have, like a numb state. And with Terrence, like he's talking about the closed eye breakthrough, where you take this pen here and you go after it, and you heard him say, "Take the third hit, damn it." You gotta do it quick and get it in there, or you get us, because it takes a pretty good dose to break through. Well, like tonight, when I smoke, I won't be breaking through. I'm going to show you how I do an open eye session. Well, I've found that not to be true. I found that it actually happened that there was a couple of us who were kind of doing this at the same pace, and it kind of worked out. We all at the same time just started to feel like there's something more than this closed eye breakthrough. The closed eye breakthrough is unbelievable. Every time I do it, I come back, I cry. They're tears of joy. I laugh. I just clap sometimes. I don't know what to tell you. It's so unbelievable. But I knew in my spirit there was something more that they wanted from me out of this than that. And so I just was like a willing participant to say, hey, show me what you got, tell me what to do. And we started to do these open eye sessions. And it was like the open eye sessions are what really opened our eyes. I mean, the open eye sessions are a magic all of its own, like what you heard Terrence talk about as a closed eye. Well, Some of that stuff happens in an open eye sesh, but it's so different. It translates so different because your eyes are open. And now you see this reality. And, you know, all of that geometric beauty that's impossible to describe, instead of closing it and you seeing it with your third eye, now your physical eyes are open and you're seeing it with your physical and your third eye like at the same time. And there's this hybrid experience of being in this reality and in another at the same exact time. You can see the other reality overlay itself onto this one, and you get the idea that that reality to it. But DMT is that tuner that tunes your brain into those frequency channels. So when your brain tunes, then you begin to pick up those channels that have always been broadcasting, but you just couldn't pick them up. And that's what happens, I believe. And it's real. I'm going to take me a swig of my hot tea here I made. That's some good herbal peach tea right there. So let me check the time. It's 10:42. We got a few more minutes and we're going to start session. We'll start getting into some specifics now of what we're going to do. You know, let me talk a little bit about what we're going to be smoking here tonight. In fact, I'll stand up and go show the camera. These are my Hamilton devices. This is what I call the double barrel shotgun. As you can see, there we go. Never mind my fingernails. I'm a construction worker and I've been working in black grout yesterday, so it's impossible to get out. Now I want you to pay attention to the color of this product right there in there, that dark amber. Now look at this single barrel, but look at the colors here side by side. Get that glare. These are both the exact same product. This one is a couple months old. This one's like a week old. Fresh, then that means they didn't use snow tech and they used some shitty extraction method. You know, it's just, if it's this color fresh, that means it's full of jungle spice and whatnot and impurities. Not impurities per se, you know, it's just not DMT. It's plant matter from the bark is what it's going to be. It's like, you know, if you smoke dabs, weed dabs, if you were to get dabs and it had a bunch of plant matter in it, you don't want that. You want the pure THC. Well, that's what I make, and that's what I teach on my website is how to make pure DMT. So that's what we're going to be smoking out of. These are the Hamilton device. These are so incredibly amazing. I can't say enough good about it. Just revolutionized the way I smoke DMT. If you go back and watch my videos that I just showed you about the devices I use, none of them are just the Hamilton device. This thing is in a league of its own. Why? Well, it's just, first of all, it's simple. There's nothing to do like with a lot of them other ones, just measuring and weighing and scooping, and they're fickle. This, you just make your carts up like you regularly would and put your carts in here and it's ready to go. You put some water in the bubbler and you squeeze the button and you suck out of here and it's good to go. And it, you know, because it's got a bubbler, there's no chance of any of that DMT coming out of the carts and spitting onto your lip and tongue and you getting all that DMT shit in your mouth. And it goes to a bubbler, so it just cools it a little bit. Ratio. Most people make their carts at about a 50-50 ratio, meaning half a gram of DMT and then half a mil of vape juice. But this one is made out of 0.70 of DMT and 3/10 of a gram or three tenths of a mil of vape juice. So it's quite a bit stronger than the It flows a little, it's a little thicker, more viscous and oily, but if you get it any stronger than that, it gets too thick and won't even go through the vape very well. It gets clogged. So this is like about as hot as you can make it, and keep it where it functions good every time. It hits every time you do it. So it's a good strong hit. And this is plastic, by the way, but the mouthpiece is glass. It just comes off. And this has a little bucket that comes with it too if you want to put dabs in there, freebase and stuff. So there you go. Those are our Hamilton devices. That's what I'm going to be hitting here in a few minutes. We're at 10:48, and I'm going to be playing some music. Let me mention about the music because this is on YouTube, and you know how it is anymore. They won't let you play music at all that's copyrighted. So I had a playlist I wanted to play while I sesh that I'm, more of my common, what I'm used to, something familiar. But all that's copyrighted, so I don't want to get this broadcast striked or shut down. So I went and got some, copyright free music. I paid for the service that allows me to access some of that replay. You'll know already by now. So, yeah, there we go. So let me go ahead and turn some music on then here. Let me make sure I've got the volume down. I don't want to blast your ears out. Maybe this will be good right here. Hopefully everybody can hear that all right. It shows it's playing well on my end. I hear it good in my earphones. Yes, sir. Beautiful. That is pretty. I'm going to kind of clear my mind here. I'm going to get ready to take some hits. I'm going to clear my mind and grab me a sip of this warm tea. DMT isn't for everybody. It's for everybody, but it's not for everybody. How do you know if it's for you? Well, are you being called to take it? And it probably is. This is you can't, like Terrence McKenna said, this is the secret that can't be told. You can't give this stuff away. Nobody wants it. And so I'm going to turn that down a little bit. It looks like it might be just as wrong. It's just, it was just where you were. It's a growth. It's like, were you wrong when you were 1 year old and you shit in your diaper? No, that's just what 1 year olds do, but they grow out of it. And that's what we do as people, and that's what I've done in my journey. I've grown and learned. And so I seek the spiritual things, and what I've learned is that DMT is the spirit-filled life. It is connecting to the Holy Spirit. DMT, remember, if you've ever been a churchgoer and in the spirit movement, you would go to church and have people lay their hands on you and tell you to speak in tongues and all that stuff so you could be filled with the Holy Spirit. Well, in reality, in this dispensation, in this time period, I'm not saying it was never that way. I'm just saying for us right now, we've been giving this as the way to access that Holy Spirit. This is the way. This is the laying on of hands and the anointing of the oil. This is the breath and the fire of the Spirit. And what lies on the other end of this is God. As we know it. But God is not who we think it is. God is beyond our comprehension. And we are beyond our own comprehension, who we really are. So I just encourage you, to contemplate and consider whether you really want to know who you are. You want to, I put it this way, man. I go up to some, this is that door. It exists. The door to magic exists. The door to the portal exists. See, the scroll is now being unrolled, and what Terrence McKenna didn't understand is that we are in an awakening now. He was in the awakening, but an earlier stage of it. Excuse me. We're in a more advanced stage of the awakening, so here we are. And the scroll of information and understanding is being unrolled. That's from the book of Daniel. God told Daniel to seal up the scroll till the end of time, that there was information that the world needs, but he didn't want them to have it until the very end. Well, that is now, and that scroll is being revealed. And this is the revelation. It's the psychedelic awakening, that the psychedelics are the spirit-filled life. That everything we understood about these things, we were wrong about. And when I talk about that, I'm referring specifically to DMT, mushrooms, and LSD, nothing else. And now, I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm just only referring to those when I talk. So, yeah. So, like I said, I encourage you, do your own research, find your calling, cry out to God for his opinion. He said if a son cries out to a father for a piece of bread, will the father give him a stone? If he wants some meat, some fish, will he give him a serpent? Of course not. So if you, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will the Father give the Spirit to them who ask? Well, I asked. I cried out from the depths of my heart. I've done it for 50, well, not where you're at. I don't know. Maybe you're ready. So either way, I encourage you to not reject it just off the cuff because you have these religious inclinations and understandings and preconceived ideas about what these things are. This is just the bark of a tree, guy. This is no different than a mushroom, an apple, an orange, cinnamon, vanilla bean. This is just from the earth. It's the bark of a tree that's just ground up, and I extract the DMT from it. There's nothing added to this other than the bark of that tree that's been purified, and a little bit of vape juice, which is propylene glycol, which is food. It's in everything. It's just a little like viscous clear liquid. It's in all kinds of foods. So yeah. So there's no reason to be afraid of this. No reason to fear it. You hear people talk about set and setting with DMT. Set means mindset, in case you want to know. It's your mindset going into it. Who are you? What is your thought life? Like, what is your heart? Do you constantly think about the bad things of people? How shitty people are and how much better you are than them and that you do things differently? And if you do, you're going to be taught a real quick lesson from this stuff, because this is the Spirit. This is the teacher. The Holy Spirit is the teacher. Jesus said, I will send you another teacher. He will guide you in all truth. Well, here it is. And all that stuff going in, it's going to change how this. I'm telling you, I believe it's like 90% of your experience is your mindset. And then there's the setting. That means this, where you're at, your surroundings. This setting right here is very nice. I've got more lights on than I normally do, and I typically have visuals on the screen. That's my setting that I like. But, you find that setting that's comfortable and relaxing, and, you don't like kids running and, neighbors banging. But if that's all you got, it's all you got. But go outside, go to somewhere quiet, find a creek or a lakeside or the ocean, or get on a boat. You know, do something and find that spot that that you can just relax in and be at peace. You don't have to worry, and then you're good to go. Well, look at that. It's 11 o'clock. So maybe it's about time to start smoking some DMT, huh, guys? So what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is just give myself just a little warm up hit, just to coat my lungs and coat my throat, and kind of just clear my mind a little bit. And this will just help ease me. Real quick, let me explain. When I first started to do this, at this stage of the game, when I would just touch this pen, my hands would sweat. I mean, profusely. I could. And I've realized most of the bad physical effects, like the shaking or the cold and the hot and all that stuff, was from anxiety. Now that I don't have that kind of anxiety, my trips are so much more smoother in the body. And also, it's like you adjust. The more you smoke, it's like you acclimate to the changeover. It's like I liken it to a werewolf. The first time he changes into that werewolf, it's a horrific experience. And if you watch the movies, the first time he changes into a werewolf, there's blood everywhere, and he's confused, and he's like a lost soul, scared to death. Well, that's the way it is when you take this for the first time, because it's the truly unknown. But then by the end of the movie, the werewolf's walking down the street as a man, and he goes from man to a wolf, just like that. And it's like he loves to do it now. There's no fear there, because he realizes it's his calling. It is who he is, and this is my calling. And maybe it's your calling, so we'll see. So I'm going to just give me a little 1 or 2 second, probably a 2 second starter hit here, just to get everything going. We'll get some breaths. I try to take some good deep hit breaths just to really open up my lungs. I do suffer from some mild asthma, so you may not need to do this like I do. It just helps me. I feel a little tingling. You want to hold that long enough to where you ghost it. A good 10 seconds like I did. I wasn't counting, but I just assumed it was 10, 12 seconds. And I didn't exhale any smoke. If you exhale smoke, then you didn't hold it long enough. That smoke is DMT. Everything you're inhaling is DMT. It's not like weed. See, we're used to weed and cigarettes where you exhale smoke, because you're exhaling plant matter and fibers and shit like that and shit. Well, there's none of that in this pure DMT. It's just DMT. So you shouldn't be exhaling anything. So always hold your hits, that's all I'm saying. You're robbing yourself of your DMT if you don't, and the experience. Sometimes DMT makes me yawn a little bit. It used to do it more than it does now, because I think a lot of that was the anxiety, and I would stop breathing and it would change my breathing habits and patterns. It does. The deeper you go in, the more your breathing is affected, like your breathing rhythm. And you may yawn, but no big deal. Just expect that. All right. So now I'm going to be smoking from the double barrel. The rest of the time, I'm going to just take a hit and then ride it out for a few minutes, see how it goes. And at this point, I think I might want to put some visuals on. I'll leave me on here for you, but I'm just going to be looking at some visuals, so if that's okay. Nice. You see, and this isn't going to be how you're going to feel because you're at a different place in your journey. I just have such a a light little tiny buzz going through me. You see, I'm not under any type of anesthesia. I could do whatever I want right now. I could walk around. I could go outside. I could probably drive probably better than I normally would, but I wouldn't. But I probably could right now. And that was a true 2 seconds, probably more like 3. And remember, this is a double barrel, so that's getting like 6 seconds because you're getting 2 at a time. So that's a good hit. A normal person, you're going to experience it a lot more on your time than I did here because, like I said, I'm acclimated to it. But what I do feel is, like I said, I tend to yawn sometimes, especially more in the beginning. After 3 or 4 hits, it seems like those go away. I have just light visuals in the ether, but nothing too much. My hand movements feel very quick and like I have super control over my body. My arm tension is gone too. I have a lot of mobility issues from an injury. It really helps alleviate the pain and stuff in your joints. I don't normally talk when I smoke. I'm just trying to explain what I'm going through so people watching this have something to hold on to. There we go. Thank you, God, for this gift. Thank you. Thank you for these people watching. Thank you for life. Thank you for making me who you have made me, and thank you for calling me. Thank you for love and showing me love. Thank you for my dog right there, my girlfriend. Everything is well, I'm not seeing anything different, but yet it just feels different. Body wise, it's the same minor vibration just going through me. I could walk around easily right now. I'm going to check for closed eye visuals. Sometimes earlier on you have to let them develop. What I've learned is that these are controlled and your visuals are not just given. It's not a guarantee that you're going to have visuals. I've had my visuals shut off for it was probably a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, where I could only do open eye sessions if I closed my eyes, nothing would happen. But they told me ahead of time that that was going to happen. I see words in these visuals here. It's crazy. I'm trying to make it out. I've just got like geometric visuals playing on the Winamp, but I'm seeing words. I've seen words come across the screen before when I'm tripping. I'm not going to repeat what I saw because it's personal. Now, I'm just trying to let this hip belt. I'm gonna check for closed eye visuals. I'm definitely having closed eye visuals. I didn't even explain this. It's like a lot of greens and reds and yellows. It's patterns, but it's not. It moves. There's like stuff here around me, but I can't quite see it yet. I'm just on the edge. I'm gonna take another hit and check the time. 11:17. Okay, we're good. So, take a drink. Remember, if you even wait till your physical experience goes away, you still have DMT in your body, so you're stacking it. So each hit's gonna get more and more intense. Okay, sorry about that. The visuals are just so crisp, it's unexplainable. I've got a large screen too. It's perfection. Excuse me. Open eyes, it's hard to explain. Everything is normal-ish, but yet I have flashes of things in the ether in front of me. I just feel very grateful right now. Thank you, Father, for this experience. Thank you. Obviously, the Father knows that I'm doing this live, and they have expressed that to me, that they understand that I'm doing this. You will hear communication. It won't always be, it's almost never anymore, that audible voice like it was that first time when they told me to take DMT. That was audible. I heard these. And now you hear the voices with this. Now I hear it on the inside. It's like I'm seeing almost like what I thought was an alien face forming, but see, I could get up and walk around if I want, just to show you I have no body, or it's not like it was back in the day. I don't know. Well, I do know it's partially because of the purity of my DMT. Yes, that has some to do with it, but the bigger part of it is my experience and the fact that I'm changing the music whatsoever. I still have amazing clear eyesight, nearly three-dimensional on the TV. It's like three-dimensional basically. It's hard to explain. So I'm gonna take another hit. All right. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for life and giving me this. You're gonna learn that the farther you go in your psychedelic journey, it's not about the. Thank you for that word. The floor's moving separately from the carpet. I feel like the carpet is free, moving kind of, but it's not. There's geometrical language or something in it. It's hard to explain. It's even in the fibers of the carpet. It's changed. It's forming into geometry or something. A message. I don't know. My dog, he's laying down right there right now. Sometimes they'll do one or two things. They'll either just go to sleep like he is now, close them eyes. Everything's beautiful. It's like this beautiful gray, and then I've got this and it's just comforting to me to know there's pure, perfect relaxation in it, because when you know God is in control, and when you realize that you are God, you're just an expression of God, then thank you so much for this. May I take another hit, please? Early on, they told me from the very beginning I had free will to just dive in as much as I wanted. But I still find it, especially the farther I go in, that it's good to ask. Because they'll let you know when it's time to stop as well. So, here we go. I hope you can see this whole thing is filled with nice milky smoke. They understand I'm amazed, but I don't have to say it. I'm just letting this happen. It's amazing. I see stuff in the ether. I get. It's like what you see closed eye, but it's kind of happening open eye. I'm gonna close my eyes. A very apparent visuals, amazing. It looks like it's brown shapes. What the fuck am I even seeing? Wow, it's incredible. Open eye is incredible. It's like my TV is three-dimensional, but inwards. Like I can see it's inwards and outwards. Like it has super depth. Just making me smile, all. Fucking love you. Fucking love you. Fucking love this world. I love this. Thank you so much, Father. I can see stuff right here in front of me in the ether. It's like fractals and stuff. Wow, I feel so good. Like I said, I feel in my body. I'm just normal. I feel good, man. I feel great. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Love this. I love this, man. I mean, you see, I'm gonna go back to where I can see myself because there we go. I'm gonna turn the visualizer off just for this moment. Thank you so much for this. They know you're thankful. They know I'm thankful. I don't have to say it, but I like, it does me good to hear myself say it. Yeah, I said that right. Sometimes, you know, like telling them how thankful I am. They know, because I am them. It's me. You are God. I'm not going to argue about it, but you are. I want you to know that right now. I want you to know that right now, that you are God. That everything lies within you. Everything. Thank you so much. What a great experience that was. I hope it translated. 11:35, there you go. Like I said, I hope it translates for y'all watching. This is why I'm doing it. You know, I want you to see what's available with DMT. I don't want you to be afraid of this. Yes, uh, it can give you scary experiences, especially closed eye, but even open eye, I mean, can be overwhelming. They've been overwhelming for me at times, but yet what you do when it gets overwhelming, it's like when you're on a roller coaster. There's two types of people. There's the ones holding the regretting they ever got on it, and there's the motherfucker that's just got his arms up saying, "Take me. What can I do? I'm on the ride, motherfucker. So just let me have it." And that's me, and that can be you. You know, just throw your hands up, throw some smoke at that shit, and accept it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I typically have so much. I have mobility issues in both my arms, but my left one mainly. It's still, I have a lock, a physical lock. I can't like move it in certain ways. But pain wise, it's like it's free. It's amazing. I have no pain in it. I love you guys. Anybody watching this later on, I love you. There's probably nobody watching this right now. Who the fuck cares, right? There's going to be a lot of people watch this later, I'm sure. And I just want you to know you are loved. Maybe not by me personally, but by. We point up, but it's really everywhere. God is everywhere, omnipresent, right? God's not up there. God is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipowerful, everything. He is all things, everywhere. He's everything. He's the good and He's the bad. God is up and God is down. God is black and God is white. God is everything. Even your own Bible tells you that, right? God, I created evil, says God. He told you not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It wasn't just a tree of evil, a knowledge of evil. It was a knowledge of good and evil. He doesn't want you to look at it either way. He don't want you looking at good or evil. He laid the axe to that root and cut down that tree. And in Hebrews it says you should now have no more consciousness of that tree and good and evil. Live in that dichotomy of, this is good and this is bad, you know? Mm-mm. When you wake up to it and when you've been saved from it, you see it. That it's all God. And we're right where He wants us, and it's okay. There's perfect peace. Like Jesus said, in the midst of the storm, peace be still. Right? Because the peace comes from within. Thank you so much. Thank you, Father. those were big hits I was taking, just so you know. Those were big hits out of here. You think they might not be because of the way I acted, and but I can assure you they were big hits. About all I could do. And that last one, I probably took a good 4 second hit. That means 8 seconds of cart time. It's so easy with these, is what I'm saying. It's like 4 seconds equals eight, right? Because there's two carts at once. And, eight is halfway to a breakthrough. It takes about 15 seconds to break through all my stuff. So I was halfway through a breakthrough. That was after multiple hits as well. So, and like I showed you, I had the first couple of hits, I had a very light energy going through me. But after that, it kind of faded. And the recurring hits after that, I feel almost normal. Almost. I can tell I've taken DMT, but it's a relaxing good. It's a relaxing, peaceful existence. It's so mellow and just, oh man, it's incredible. So that's it. That's DMT, man. That's the open eye sesh. Now you can just keep going until you. I was in deep that last time. I'm gonna let you know. I was like good communication going on, telepathy. There was, I don't know what I was saying. It was kind of like fractally in the ether. It's not like an object like this floating in the air, if you understand. It's like made out of ether and light, and it's not physical. It's not solid objects. But it's there. And it's not like, see, I can look over here and see something different, and look here and it's there. It doesn't move. That lets you know that it's actually real, that you're just tuning into that frequency. If it was all in your mind, how is it going to stay the same, and how is it going to know? The language in my pants, which I can still see lightly, but it's there. I mean, I can still see it good, but it's, I've seen it way stronger. But it folds and it moves. And if I go and do something and come back, it'll still be the same. It'll be the exact same code right there, the same alien or the same whatever. It won't go away, it won't change because I looked away and looked back. It's there, and I can fold it and manipulate it and hide it. Something's going on here, folks, that is beyond our comprehension. I think they show me that in fabrics and like in the floor and everything. Honestly, it's like it's a code. My ego, for the days leading up to this and the hours and the minutes leading up to this, was like, everything it could do to tell me that this wasn't gonna, there's nobody gonna be watching, shit like that, Who cares, man? It is what it is, and it's all for a reason. And I never come out of a sesh wishing I hadn't done it. I always like, God, why do I fight it? And it didn't look like I fought it, but the fight is inside. But my spirit man is stronger now. It's beginning to be the stronger one and overcome that voice of the flesh, the ego. See, you have a two-part system, the spirit and the flesh. It's not about the outward right and wrong. It's about you recognizing who you are. You're a spirit man having this physical experience. You are truly a spiritual being. And when this mortal tabernacle, this body dies and goes to the grave, that spirit continues on, my friend. I can just tell you, and that's good news. And what lies beyond this is incredible. You don't have to, if you truly understand what's going on. That's why the Bible says when you see someone die, don't weep as those who have no hope. Why would you weep over a dead person, man? They went to the light, bro. They're seeing what I'm seeing, but they're just seeing it for realsies, double dog dillsies, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have to smoke nothing to see it. It's their reality. Because it's our reality. It's my reality in my spirit person. That's where I exist. Man, let me check the time. 11:45. Wow. What a great sesh. I feel like smoking some more, but I'm not going to. Because it's not about me tonight. Honestly, it's about you. You see what I'm saying? Is that for those of you who aren't convinced that this is real, and you think DMT is just a figment of your imagination and all them trips you have are just your own mind playing games, I feel sorry for people like that because they're missing it. They're like, once you realize it's real, then you can embrace it. You can communicate with it. You can. What are these people doing who are rational psychonauts when they get in there and they hear the telepathy? Do they even hear telepathy? I don't know. Do they accept the messages? Like, what's going on with that? Like, how can you do that? How can you take this and think that that's not real? I question you. And because when you see God, bro. There ain't no making that shit up. Come on. You can't make it up, man. Wow. So what have y'all thought about this music? It's been good, right? I'll let you know who this is. Let me pull up my playlist. There's actually 3 albums we're listening to, and I just mixed the tracks all together so we're not hearing the same band track after track. But okay, it's the 3rd album is all different people, so I'd have to name you like 13 different people. It's just an album. But one of the albums is the band name is called Cardamom, like cardamom, but OHM with ohm, Cardamom. The song we're hearing right now is Cardamom. It's called A Seed, like a seed you put in the ground. We've also got Minds of Infinity as well. We've been listening to. This is all royalty-free music, so I don't have to worry about any strikes. I've paid for the licensing of these, as well as the music at the intro of the show. And I'll be closing out the show here in a few minutes with the classical piece that just blew my mind. I tripped to it back a few weeks ago. Well, a month and a half ago now. And it just was a life-changing experience when I listened to this track, Tripping. It's Tchaikovsky. His 1812 Overture, you know, the old famous 1812 Overture from Tchaikovsky. I put that on Tripping Bros, and it blew me away. Listen to classical music while you're tripping. I'm talking like mushrooms or LSD. Hell, I mean on DMT, but I'm talking a good 6-hour trip, you know. And so that's what we're going to close out the sesh with here in just a few minutes. I'll turn it off as we go out here. So, but I appreciate everybody for joining me tonight. Thank you for coming. Much love to everybody. We're going to do this again next week. So, got an itch in my ear. Sorry about that. Maybe next week we'll have more people. It's okay. The universe has a plan. But I thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight. And I thank you for being here. And I thank God for giving me this opportunity. I'm just thankful right now. I have a spirit of thankfulness in my heart, real big right now. So I just appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and close the show out with some Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Love you guys, you know. Appreciate you. And like this says, Come back next Friday, y'all. Okay? Good night, and here we go. You got a cough, you got a cough. Even if it's live.